Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today, we're looking at one of the most distinctive Omega watches in any model line at any price of the last quarter century. You can see and you can purchase this Omega Seamaster NZL-32 Regatta Chronograph on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this automatic regatta timer. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, we have a little piece of modern Omega history. A longtime participant in America's Cup sponsorship for the 2007 32nd America's Cup. We're currently on 35 for those of you who are keeping score. Omega sponsored Emirates Team New Zealand, and so we have the NZL script at 6 o'clock on this watch. We have the regatta timer functionality, the notation NZL-32, again further attesting to the specific installment of the America's Cup, and one of the most refreshingly functional regatta timers I've ever encountered. More on that in a moment. Now the watch is 42 millimeters across the round of the case, not including the crown or the chronograph pushers. In a refreshing change from the norm, this watch does not have any crown guards. It's nice and clean. In terms of thickness, it's thick, 15.5 millimeters, but with a generously sloped bezel and sapphire, you will be able to get this one underneath the sleeves of sport jackets or blazers. Now from look to look, it's big. So between the actual edges of the case, the watch measures 50 millimeters. When you add the solid end links of the bracelet, which project out further, then you get a robust 56 millimeters across the wrist. So while this is a 42 millimeter watch, think of it more in terms of 45 or even 46. Now it's very solid. The case is deep, the lugs are thick, the bezel is heavy. It has a solid case back in steel, and the bracelet is very substantial. Now you can see the bracelet is less of a dive style bracelet and more of a general utility style bracelet, featuring a low profile clasp, much like Rolex's crown clasp. When it's closed completely, there's very little to denote the partition point except the Omega marquee, and with twin trigger release, it keeps this exceptionally heavy sports watch secure on the wrist. You have to push both triggers in to open it. It's not friction fit, it can't pop open. And the watch is hefty. The bracelet is substantial, and though it's fixed by pins and sleeves rather than screws, it has a feel of solidity to it that inspires a lot of confidence. It also has a handsome finish entirely in satin. It's subdued. It's a nice counterweight to the polished highlights of the case, which you can see on the bezel as well as the bevels of the lugs. Now the watch is large, but it's mostly dial. The star here really is the regatta timer, and Omega manages to include a number of separate layers, colors, and textures to animate this dial uniquely. First of all, let me say that I love the combination of silver and black as the primary functions of the color palette, and then the addition of red and blue. It's colorful, it's cheerful, and here's the thing, it's functional. This is a regatta timer, yes, so its primary role is to count down 5-minute increments via these 5 holes in the dial. Each aperture represents 1 minute elapsed, and in the course of 1 minute, likely in the course of this video, you'll see those individual holes filling up. Right now you can see the 4th one is beginning to fill to the point where you can see it. But here's the thing, whereas most regatta timers limit you to some sort of sailing specific display of time, either a really short interval or a bizarre display, this watch also functions as a conventional chronograph. I alluded to the functionality of the watch earlier. Take a look right here at 3 o'clock. You have a conventional 30-minute register. Sure, there are some colorful highlights to denote 5 and 10-minute intervals for you sailors, but you have a regular 30-minute register, chronograph seconds at center, and then there's a 12-hour register at 12 o'clock. So while you have the unique and entertaining display, which is great for timing short intervals outside of the sailing world, by the way, you also have a conventional chronograph with no compromises. The watch does feature a little bit of an inverse functionality, in as much as the pusher down at 8 o'clock stops and starts the chronograph, and then the pusher at 10 o'clock resets its registers. Now if you imagine the watch on the wrist, you'll see how much more user-friendly that is than the awkward system that forces you to use your index finger. While that system is more common, this system is ergonomically correct. Now inside the case, protected down to 150 meters, this watch features a caliber 2602. Now what that is it's a modular chronograph based on a thin and fine bidirectional winding 44-hour power reserve ETA 2892A2 in chronometer grade. Down to 150 meters you have water resistance, it is a screw down crown, and it's a very smooth operating chronograph because of the vertical clutch mechanism of the modular chronograph. Now you can see when I stop the seconds hand, it stops without stagger, it starts without a jump, and when I reset, it always resets precisely to the index at 12. Plus, if you just like to have constant seconds running on your dial, with a vertical clutch you can do that because there's no additional wear and tear on the mechanism as you would find with a conventional lateral clutch. Now you see I've reset, all of those apertures have returned to 0. This is a handsome, unique, rare, and different watch. In chronometer spec, it's accurate. With this animated dial, it's distinctive and charming. With its functionality, it offers you everything from a beautiful display for short intervals to conventional minutes and hours. And of course, being pre-coaxial, it's double tough. You can see and you can purchase this Omega Seamaster chronograph from the Aquaterra family NZL-32 model on our website.